Hi, this is Edie with Milray Center in the travel department. You may know me from some cooking shows recently that have been posted online with Milray Center. Table for One with Edie Smith. But most of you remember me as the travel coordinator here at Milray Center. We are going to be traveling again, I promise. We're looking forward to getting some great trips on the books for next year, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. In October every year, I do our big travel show. Well, with COVID out there and all our social distancing, we've had to do it a little differently this year. So we're doing a short video just to bring you what trips are available for next year. This information is all going to be in the newsletter that's coming out in November, but we wanted to give you a little bit of FaceTime with me. I know I miss all of you, and I hope you are missing traveling with me. So enjoy the video. We are going to be traveling yet this year. We are going to Branson. November 30th to December 4th of this year, we're taking a very small group. I have obtained clearance with both the tour company, White Star Tours, and the purveyors in Branson, as well as consulting here at Milray Center to make sure that this will be a safe and comfortable trip for you. We're only taking 20 to 25 people on a large motor coach that holds 56 people. So we'll be able to socially distance better on the bus. We'll be wearing masks all the time unless we're eating and drinking. And we're going to see some amazing shows. It is Christmas time in Branson after all, and there's nothing more fun. They really roll out the red carpet to get you in that holiday spirit. So right after Thanksgiving, we're going to take off and we're going to go to Branson. And we are going to see 7 shows in 4 days. So, well, 4 nights we're going to be staying there. So it's a week-long trip. We're going to see Clay Cooper's Country Express. We're going to see the Haygoods, Pierce Arrow, everybody loves that show, the Brett Family, and there's going to be a Broadway show you're going to get to see called Six. I saw this in February, and it was wonderful. Six is a tale of King Henry VIII's wives, and it is a musical. Very well done, very interesting program. We're also going to get some entertainment with dinner on 2 different days. We're going to have entertainment at the Uptown Cafe, and we're going to get to go on the Showboat Branson Belle and have a dinner show. And that always rates as almost everyone's favorite entertainment on the whole trip. So looking forward to a great trip. There'll be some shopping. You're going to get some Christmas shopping in because we're going to go to Branson Village as well as to the Art and Craft Mall. That is something else to see just by itself. We spend lunchtime there. They have a cafe and they have all kinds of booths with many, many different kinds of crafts and novelties and things for you to buy. So there's some Christmas shopping, there's some shows, there's some good food, and we're just going to have a laid-back, great time. Again, that's November 30th to December 4th. There are very few seats available on this. There's about 5 seats. So if you are interested, get with us at Milray Center as soon as possible. Go ahead and get on the phone, call the business office, and get signed up for this trip. Payment is due in full at this time because we are leaving at the end of November. That's only $7.99 per person if you're doubling up in a room. And it's only extra $100 if you're not a member of Milray Center. And of course, it's open to anyone over the age of 21. You don't have to be a member of Milray Center to travel with us. You do need to be over 21, though, because we do like our adult time. We're adults now, and we want to travel with other adults and have some good times. So that's Branson. Get information on all of these trips is available at Milray Center. It's all on the wall up front. If you want to come in person, poke your head in and say hi to us. We'd love to see you. Of course, bring a mask, wear a mask into the building. We are practicing good hygiene and social distancing here, but we are open and we would love to see you, even if it's just to pop in and pick up a brochure. But if you'd like, we can also mail one to you, or you can see them online. These will all be posted online as well at milraycenter.org. Our next trip after that is in the spring of 2021. We're going to hold off, and hopefully by then there'll be even more safety procedures in place, hopefully even vaccines, so that we'll be able to travel and really go back to the way things used to be. But we're going to be very cautious about this. We are going to limit the size of the groups that we take. We will still be practicing all of these things because even if COVID is under control by then, it will help us be healthier in the long run. It'll protect us from colds and flus and things that we get anyway. So we will take each day at a time. If the trips get canceled, be assured that you will get all of your money back, including your insurance, if we cancel the trip or if the tour provider cancels the trip. You always have the ability to cancel the trip. If you cancel the trip, we do recommend that you have travel insurance, and travel insurance is available on all of these trips. With travel insurance, you can even cancel right before you leave on the trip. These do require a medical reason for the cancellation or a hardship reason. So you can put your money down, and up to the final payment, you will get your money back from us with no problem. But after the final payment, then you would need insurance to cover it, and we do make sure that you have that information to get insurance on each of these trips. Our trip in April is the mystery trip. This one's almost full. We only have 10 seats left on this one. This is going to be so much fun. It's very exciting. It's a great trip. I'm not telling you where we're going, and you're not going to get any information until we're ready to leave, even on what to pack. So it's going to be a complete mystery. If you're up for an adventure and you love mystery, come on this trip with me. You'll have a great time. Our mystery trips are always a blast and very successful. That's April 14th through the 19th of next year, and that trip runs $8.99 per person if you're 2 people per room, or $11.88 for solo travelers. And solo travelers are always welcome. Unfortunately, the tour companies charge us more if you're traveling by yourself. But if you're looking for a roommate, oftentimes other people are too, so we can maybe connect you. We can't guarantee that, but you can always sign up as a single. And if you find a roommate or we help you find one, we will definitely get you the double price. So don't worry if you don't have a roommate yet. Go ahead and get signed up for the trip, and we'll work on it together. All right, our next trip after that is Washington, D.C. This one's also very popular. A lot of people want to go to Washington, D.C. This year we were supposed to go and see the cherry blossoms. Of course, that's right when COVID hit and everything had to be shut down. That was our first trip that went by the wayside. So we just moved it to next year. And that's the great news too. I was able to negotiate the same price on all these trips. So there's no inflation. You're going to get to pay the exact same price on all of these trips that we'd already reserved for you, and get all the same exciting tours and trips. We didn't change anything. If something gets canceled that's a dominant part of the trip, then the trip itself will be canceled. If they cannot provide what we're supposed to have within reason, then the trip itself will be canceled. So you don't have to worry that you're going to go and everything will be closed or you won't get to see anything. Washington, D.C. is open for business, and you'll get to see all of those activities, especially April 29th through May 5th of next year. So again, April 29th through May 5th, and the cost on that trip is just $809 per person on a double occupancy, and you would add $285 if you're traveling by yourself. Now we're going to go to one of my favorite corners of the world in May, at the end of May. Gorgeous time of year. May, we're going to go to Savannah. Let's head down south and go see some of that beautiful southern charm, eat that fabulous seafood. The shrimp down there is to die for. It's just so good. Georgia shrimp is so delicious. They actually won't even ship it outside of Georgia. They keep it all to themselves. Can you believe it? So we're going to go down and try some while we're down there. And we're going to go on a guided tour of Savannah by trolley. We're going to get a gorgeous tour of Beaufort. I can never say this. Beaufort or Beaufort. People pronounce it 2 different ways. South Carolina, and that's routinely named one of the prettiest little cities in the United States. We're going to go tour Paris Island, which is where our Marines train. We're going to get to go to St. Simon's Island and Jekyll Island, and those all have fabulous features that are just so interesting, and the history of that area is so interesting. But we're going to spend a lot of time in Savannah, just soaking up that southern charm. This is a great trip, and we always enjoy this. It's $725 per person for a double, and you'd add $217 for single occupancy, and that's May 17th through the 22nd. May 17th through the 22nd of 2021. Then in June, we're going to head to San Antonio. Yeehaw! We're going to go to Texas. This was really popular when we produced this in 2020. People wanted to go see the Magnolia Plantation, Joanna and Chip Gaines' new place, the Silos. We're going to go. We're going to spend an afternoon at the Silos and at the Magnolia Plantation. You're going to get to see what you've heard about on television. We're also going to tour Lyndon Johnson's home, Lady Bird and Lyndon Johnson. We love going to presidential homes when we can on these trips. This trip in San Antonio, we did 4 years ago, I think, 3-4 years ago. It was a big hit. It takes a while to get out to the west, whether we're going to San Antonio, Albuquerque, or even Las Vegas like we did last year. But some of those trips are the best traveling we do because you're not on the bus for 8 to 10 hours. Matter of fact, those trips average about 6 hours of bus time a day at the most. Because it takes us 3 days to get there and 3 days to get back, we stop at a lot of really interesting places. Every day we go to a museum along the way, or we stop at a roadside attraction. And that's really fun because you can't just drive and just to get there in that length of time. You have to break it up a little bit. But some of the places we stop aren't really worth taking a whole tour to go to get to see. So it's really fun and nice that you get to get on these trips and get a lot of extras. For instance, this particular trip to San Antonio, we have 3 presidential connections. You have Lyndon Johnson home. You also have the Museum of the South Pacific, George Bush Museum of the South Pacific, and that's in Fredericksburg, which is a charming little town in Texas. But we'll get to see the Naval Museum there with a connection to George Bush. And then also, we're going to stop at the Bill Clinton Presidential Library in Arkansas. So lots of presidential history for you buffs. We always include history and shopping and eating and shows. And San Antonio is no exception. You're going to get to go to the Alamo. We also get to have a real country Texas barbecue, complete with longhorn cattle. You get to take a wagon ride out into the fields with the longhorns. They come right up to the wagon. It's a little intimidating, but you get to hang out with cowboys, and we do a little country line dancing too that night. So it's a party, it's fun, and it's a great way to go to San Antonio. And of course, we get to have dinner on the River Walk, the famous canals that run right through San Antonio. Beautiful place, lots of fun. Hope you can go on this one. That is June 12th through the 20th. So nice time to go. Maybe that's a good Father's Day present if any of you want to celebrate Father's Day to go June 12th through the 20th. And that is 9 days, 8 nights. And by the way, all these trips include a lot of your meals, almost all of them except lunches. We always have free time at lunch, unless it's a show where we have a scheduled lunchtime. Other than that, you're free to shop, go to a side trip, or eat during lunchtime, but your breakfasts and dinners are almost all included at this wonderful price, plus your hotels, plus your transportation, plus all the venues, tickets, and everything on each one of these trips. If you have not traveled with me on any of these trips yet, ask around, find those people who have. They will give you the information that you will never travel another way after this. We get dropped off at the front door of every venue. We don't stand in line for tickets. Oh, no, no, no. We go right past the lines and go right into the venues. We often have front row seats or special accommodations. They love groups. And believe me, after this year, they will love us even more. They're going to treat us like kings and queens. So if you want to travel and have a great time and relax and not have to worry about a thing, you just jump on a bus with Edie and you'll have a good time. $929 for San Antonio, only $929. That's a bargain for an 8-night, 9-day trip. Also, you only add $240 for a single occupancy on that one. So it may be worth it to have your own room for just another $240. Little place to unwind at the end of the day. And we do pack these days full. You always have free time. You always have a little time to decompress. But we get up in the morning and we hit the ground running and we pack as much into these days as we can. We want to make sure you get to see all the good things when you're on trips with us. So that's San Antonio, scheduled again for June 12th through 20th. Then the one we've all been looking forward to. This is the 3rd year now that we've been looking forward to Nova Scotia. I think we're finally going to get there. Nova Scotia, July 14th through the 26th. We are taking 2 buses. This trip has been so popular that we have maintained and continued to have 2 buses on this trip. That said, we will still limit the number of people on the bus to about 40 per bus, so it still will not be overcrowded. There'll be plenty of room to spread out and to have some extra breathing space, if you will. We also stop quite often when we're on the road with these trips, about every hour and a half to 2 hours. So you don't have to worry about long stretches of just sitting on a bus. We do get off, we do different things, we stretch our legs, we stop at a museum, stop to get a meal, so you're not constantly on the bus. But the buses are equipped with restrooms, air conditioning, heat, thank goodness, and sound systems. So there's a lot of things we can do. We can get entertainment on the bus, and you will be comfortable the whole time. We'll make sure to take care of your comfort. But riding by a bus is wonderful because you can look out the window and see the beautiful scenery going by. And you really get to see a whole lot more of America this way. And Canada. We're going to go up through Maine on this trip to Nova Scotia. And again, those dates are July 14th through the 26th. We're going to go over through Pittsburgh, up through Maine. We're going to stop in Bahaba. You got to drop those R's if you're going to be up there. Get some chatta up in Bahaba. And then we're going to proceed up the coast right on into Canada. We're going to get into Nova Scotia. We're going to go to Prince Edward Island. We're going to go to New Brunswick. You're going to get to see Peggy's Cove, Halifax. These are the most photogenic places. They're just fabulous. Almost every coastal trip includes pictures of the lighthouses and the homes and the boats of Nova Scotia. It's just incredibly beautiful. And the most amazing thing about this trip is we've maintained that price at just $1,665 a person. A few years ago, I had a group go with a major tour operation, and I just helped them book the trip, and they went to Nova Scotia, and they were paying about $4,000 a piece to go on that trip. So when I saw this price point, I knew we were going to see every single thing that more expensive trip offered. We were going to see every single tourist attraction, every single view, lighthouse, ocean, all of the wonderful things Nova Scotia has to offer, but for only $1,665 a person, I knew we had to go. And obviously, about 70 of you agree with me. There is still room, and of course, sign up for all these trips because there often is a wait list, but people move up the wait list. Folks have to cancel for a lot of reasons. So they may put a deposit down on a trip. That holds your space until you cancel. But if you have to drop off, if you have to cancel, then someone else moves up that list. Someone else gets to move right up the list on there. So if you see that there's a wait list on any of these trips, feel free to go ahead and sign up. And we'll call you, and if you can still go, we'll move you up the list. If you can't, we'll take care of that too. So be sure to just put that small deposit down if you're interested in going on a trip, and we can always work with you on it. We don't want you to be disappointed. But Nova Scotia, that's going to be the trip of the year. We're just going to have so much fun. It's 13 days, 12 nights. It's a long trip, but we are going to pack it full of memories and things you'll never, ever forget. And you'll have so many new friends after spending that kind of time together. You'll have friends to share those memories with as well. So I highly recommend signing up for Nova Scotia. Again, flyers for each one of these trips is available at Millrace Center in the travel wall in the front when you first walk in the door, so you don't even have to come far into the building. Or you can see these online, or we also could mail one to you. So just let us know if you need information. The last trip I'm going to tell you about during this travel show is going to be Chattanooga. Chattanooga was supposed to be, right about now, we were supposed to be in Chattanooga. Beautiful fall foliage, Tennessee, wonderful foods, great music, and we were going to have a wonderful time taking train rides through the Chattanooga mountains. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it this year, but this trip was very popular. It did sell out. So if you're interested in going to Chattanooga, I recommend you get on this list right away, because even though it's not until next October, October 11th through the 14th, it will sell out. So I recommend putting a small deposit down and getting your name on these lists. Chattanooga, we're going to take 3 train rides. We're going to get some southern music in there, some mountain music. We're going to enjoy great country cooking, and we're just going to have a lovely, relaxing time. Chattanooga is also nice because it's close by. It only takes us a day to get there. We'll be there late in the afternoon on the first day. So we can check into our hotel and start enjoying the area right away without a long bus trip. So that's a good one too if you're thinking about wanting to take a trip but not real sure you want to spend a lot of time on a bus. You might think about Chattanooga simply because it has the shorter bus ride. Branson is the same way this November, the one I started with. We get to Branson the very same day. So there's not a long time on the bus. We don't take as many breaks, and we don't see anything on the way because we can get there in one day. But the good news is we don't have to overnight at a hotel along the way, and we can start enjoying things right once we've arrived. So Chattanooga and Branson are shorter bus trips. The rest of them take a day and a half to 2 days to get, and in the case of San Antonio and Nova Scotia, 3 days to get to our destinations. But we're very entertaining and informative and educational all along the way. So you won't feel like you're trapped on a bus for days. Speaking of deposits, we have reduced the deposit amount. The flyers all say $75 deposit. We have reduced the deposit for you down to $25. That way you hold your place in line, and we know you're sincere because you've given us a token, you've given us $25, but we don't want to hold your money for a long period of time, especially in this day and age of COVID, when we're not real sure which trips are going to be able to go and which ones aren't. So we're just going to hold $25 per person on each of these trips. And of course, as always, that deposit is fully refundable if you need to cancel. So let me know. Call the business office at Milray Center. You want to give us a call at 812-376-9241 and ask for the business office. They can take care of your deposits. They can answer questions, mail you flyers. That's the most direct way to sign up for a trip, is through our business office. So 812-376-9241. Of course, you can always communicate with us through our website and see all this information on our website at millracecenter.org. And of course, you can always call and ask for me if you have specific questions. I'm Edie. I'm your travel coordinator at Milray Center, and I can't wait to get back on the road with all of you. I miss you and look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.